Okay, folks, this is William Heineman, and I am your host, and this is Just Force 911, where we look at how our public officials do their job. Well, in this case, they really screw it up. Hey, guys, this is more about police unions. The video comes to us from where? Good question, Bill. Right on the money, pal. Now, this impact. Information should be down below. Check them out if you want, and subscribe to them. Tell them I sent you guys over there. And this is, like I said, on police unions. So, that being said, do me a favor, guys. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm at 2,964. Trying to get to 3,000 subscribers. Please help me out if you would. Leave a comment. Thumbs up, thumbs down says how I do. Hit the bell icon so you know I put out a new video. Always check your subscription because for some reason, I don't know why, but YouTube algorithms kick people out. And I don't get, it just doesn't happen just to me. It happens to a lot of people. So always check your subscription, make sure it's up-to-date and current. That being said, also, if you would, please subscribe and, I said that, like and share because it helps my algorithms. And my algorithms is what drives the search engines that keeps this thing moving. Now, I've been off for 12 days because I was sick. I had pneumonia and the flu. A joy of time. And now we're back, and we're trying to get the search engines back. So the more you can help me out, the more it'll work. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Because I'm all out of wizards and pixie dust. And I was just told that's what it takes to make this thing work. It's like, whatever. So let's get on with the video. And like I said, this is about police unions again. And some insight.
What we're seeing a lot of now, there's been a big influx of PTSD, you know. And granted, it is out there, but I've been involved in 3 shootings myself. And not one of them has bothered me.
That's Bob Kroll, the president of the Minneapolis Police Union. 4 of his officers are responsible for the murder of George Floyd. The state of Minnesota has since launched a sweeping civil rights investigation of the Minneapolis Police Department. But Kroll is just one of many union presidents across the country. In this special episode of Who Is, we'll explore police unions, why they exist, who runs them, and how they work. Countless protests against systematic racism enforced by police erupted in the US and around the globe after the murder of a 46-year-old black man named George Floyd. Floyd was murdered under the knee of white police officer Derek Chauvin. 3 other officers participating in the arrest from the Minneapolis Police, named Thomas Lane, J. Alexander King, and Tu Tao, assisted their co-worker who suffocated Floyd for over 8 minutes. George Floyd's death is just the latest casualty in a string from the past decade plus where black people have died at the hands of police. Eric Gardner, Ezell Ford, Michael Brown, Michelle Cusseau, Tamir Rice, Philando Castile, Botham Jean, and more recently in March of this year, Breonna Taylor, just to name a few of the many precious lives lost. According to one study, black people are 2.5 times more likely than white people to be shot and killed by the police in the US. Derek Chauvin, the officer who murdered Floyd, was the subject of 18 prior complaints and was involved in at least 3 police shootings, one of which he was placed on leave after using lethal force, aka killing a person. Yet he was allowed to continue working. Behind every officer in the force is a police union who donates to political action committees and prosecutors, as well as doggedly backs their officers in cases of misconduct. Police unions are different from other public sector employee unions because of the unique militarized role police have assumed in the US in recent decades. Teachers and social workers don't have the power to kill or don riot gear and implement unjust orders, like dispensing tear gas into crowds of peaceful protesters. Elected officials are tied to police unions through donations and campaign support, rendering any sort of accountability for police misconduct nearly impossible. In 2017, Reuters examined police union contracts. They found, quote, a pattern of protections afforded officers. Many contracts erase disciplinary records or allow police to forfeit sick leave for suspensions. Unquote.
How can you thank this guy for everything he's done for law enforcement? Wonderful president.
In Minneapolis, for example, where Floyd was murdered, in 2013, there were at least 439 complaints against officers who, at the time, were still on the force. Bob Kroll took the helm of the city's police union in 2015 and implemented warrior-style police training. Quote, experts say the training, which has been linked to high-profile police-related killings around the country, including Philando Castile's 2016 shooting death, also in Minnesota, often runs the risk of the use of unnecessary and sometimes fatal force, unquote. In 2019, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey banned this warrior-style training, but Kroll vowed to continue the training for free via his union. Kroll is a strong and outspoken supporter of President Trump. He's referred to the Black Lives Matter movement as a terrorist organization. Kroll has also been accused of wearing a motorcycle jacket with the white power patch sewed in. As a young officer, Kroll was accused of beating, choking, and kicking a biracial 15-year-old boy while yelling racial slurs at him. And in a unique development, Minnesota State United Labor Union's organized AFL-CIO president Bill McCarthy released a statement calling for Kroll to resign his post. Quote, Bob Kroll has a long history of bigoted remarks and complaints of violence made against him. As union president, he antagonizes and disparages members of the black community. McCarthy continued, there is no place for leaders who support or defend racist actions and policies in our movement. Through his actions and words, Lieutenant Kroll has shown himself unfit to lead in the modern labor movement. These aggressive police union tactics aren't confined to Minnesota. In New York, the police union backed Officer Daniel Pantaleo, who killed Eric Gardner with a brutal chokehold. The head of the police union, Patrick Lynch, who is known as the Blue Bulldog, stood behind Pantaleo and was livid about his firing.
But the decision that was passed down today, saying that this police officer was reckless, is ludicrous. New York City police officers now will be considered reckless every time they put their hands on someone.
One of New York's police unions also doxed Mayor Bill de Blasio's daughter, posting her private information on Twitter without her consent, publicly threatening her while she was held in their custody amid protests over George Floyd's murder. In Chicago, John Catanzara, the head of the city's police union, has had 50 misconduct allegations. 10 of those allegations were sustained, meaning evidence indicated that it is more likely than not that a violation of the policy or procedure occurred. Catanzara was reprimanded in 2017 for violating a rule that prohibits on-duty officers from political activity when he posted pictures of himself in uniform holding a sign in support of Trump, the Second Amendment, and the American flag. Catanzara has, however, condemned the actions of Chauvin, which is a bit of a sea change in how the unions have handled the fallout from murders committed by their members. For example, the police union in Ferguson raised over $200,000 for Darren Wilson, Michael Brown's killer. The Baltimore police union did the same thing, raising money for the officers involved in the killing of Freddie Gray. The New Republic notes, quote, ultimately police unions protect their own, and the contracts they bargain keep killers, domestic abusers, and white supremacists in positions of deadly power, or provide them with generous pensions should they leave. If justice is to be served for George Floyd and the many other precious black lives that have been lost at the hands of the police, then we must change the culture of the officers themselves. Police unions, some led by bigoted former officers with long records of misconduct themselves, seem to be a key way they systematically safeguard evil behavior within their ranks. Perhaps these police unions have no place in the labor movement at all.
Okay, guys, so just more information on how police unions operate. You know, we've known this. We just got to figure out how to stop this from happening. It's a joke at best. You know, that's what I've been trying to tell you guys for months. You know, these police unions are nothing more than just a joke. So, guys, remember, always phone the police. Why? Because they're not your friends. You guys have a good one.